Crustacean allergy is an adverse effect arising from a specific immune response that occurs reproducibly on exposure to given food. In this case, the given food is referred to crustaceans. Crustaceans can be classified among arthropods, which include crab, crayfish, lobster, prawn, and shrimp. Crustaceans allergy is a common cause of anaphylaxis of food. Anaphylaxis is a severe, potentially life-threatening allergy reaction. It can occur within seconds or minutes of exposure. The prevalence of shellfish allergy was 1.3%, with more children allergies to crustacean, which is 1.2% more than mollusks. The mean ages of crustacean allergy diagnosis were 5 years old, and more than half of shellfish allergy, which crustaceans allergy were included, had a lifetime food allergy-related emergency room, and the rest only carried an epinephrine auto-injector. Study on Thailand found that 46% of shrimp allergy patients were able to tolerate shrimp 10 years later, suggesting that some individuals could outgrow shrimp allergy. In addition, Ayuso et al. Reported greater recognitions for shrimp in children than adults, supporting that shrimp sensitization could increase with age. It remains unclear at this stage whether this is a general observation or is limited to some population. There are a few risk factors, which is hereditary, race, and gender. For hereditary, the tendency to develop this kind of allergy is often and can be passed down through genes from parents to kids, but that doesn't mean that if the parents have the allergy, the kids will have too. Maybe it can be passed to their children instead. Next is gender. The risk of being allergic is greater for boys in childhood, but when the girls turn into lady, it becomes disadvantage to her because asthma, food allergies, and anaphylaxis are more frequently diagnosed in females. Lastly, the last risk is among race. Shows that Black American individuals tend to be sensitized than white people. They have higher rates of crustaceans allergy than white. Crustacean allergy generally develops within minutes to an hour of eating crustaceans. Some of the symptoms is hives, itching, or eczema. Their lips, face, tongue, and throat will be swollen, and also other part of the body. Other than that, they also will have a difficult of breathing. Next is abdominal pain, having diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Then they might feel dizzy or feeling of fainting. There's a few of ways that can be prevented from this allergy, which is 1. Avoid eating at seafood restaurant or restaurant that have seafood menu because cross-contamination is possible in establishment. Next, ask the staff how the food is prepared because the Asian restaurant usually serve the food that contains fish sauce or voodoo that contains shrimp. Also, make sure to ask that the oil pan or utensils that used to cook crustaceans food aren't used to prepare other foods. Other than that, read the food labels carefully. The food itself must state that the food contains any crustacean or not. Watch out for food that contains ingredients like seafood flavoring. It can also be found in many other dishes and substances such as surimi, glucosamine, bouillabaisse, and Caesar salad. For this allergy, there is still no cure or treatment. The best treatment is to avoid these crustaceans. If having a mild allergy, the doctor will prescribe with medications such as antihistamine to reduce the signs and symptoms such as rash or itching. But if the person have a severe allergy, the epinephrine injection may be needed. And if there is a risk of anaphylaxis with the allergy, the doctor may direct to give epinephrine even at the first sign of allergic reaction. See the emergency medical attentions after using it, even the person have felt better. In conclusion, crustacean allergy should not be taken lightly. Even only have a mild reaction, make sure to avoid contact with any crustaceans because it can be worsened and can become life-threatening. It's very important for people to be aware of the symptoms of allergic reactions, even for those who have not reacted to any allergy can be worsened over time. So anyone that reacts towards this allergy have to seek doctor as soon as possible to do some evaluations and tests. For the third questions, food allergy. What is food allergy? Food allergy is perhaps the best known example of food allergy, is also its least common and most dangerous. Anaphylactic shock is a severe hyperreaction of the immune system caused by a massive release of histamine and other chemical mediators from certain types of white blood cells called mast cells and basophils. Not everyone with food allergies experiences anaphylaxis, though the immunological triggering mechanism that causes the mast cells to release their chemical is called IgE, and is a very well understood phenomenon. This underlying mechanism is considerably different from the triggering mechanism found in food sensitives. The most common foods implicated in food allergy are peanuts, other nuts, shellfish, or food containing sulfites. People with anaphylaxis can die within minutes if they ingest even one molecule of their allergic food. Next is food sensitivity. Food sensitivity is quite another story. Food sensitivity is a delayed reaction manifests in many different ways, as they can affect any organ system in the body and can take from 45 minutes to several days for symptoms to become apparent. The delayed onset of symptoms and complex physiological mechanisms involved in food sensitives make them an especially difficult puzzle to try to solve either on their own or with most laboratory serum tests. In fact, food sensitivities often go undiagnosed or misdiagnosed. The treatment prescribed usually provide only temporary relief that masks the symptoms instead of addressing the root cause of the problems. And lastly, food intolerance. Food intolerance can produce some digestive symptoms that are similar to food sensitivity, but it doesn't involve the immune system. Instead, when the food in question is consumed, it is not properly digested and begins to ferment inside the gut. The best example of food intolerance is lactose intolerance. This condition is characterized by bloating, loose stools, or diarrhea and gas. Lactose intolerance is caused by an inability of the body to produce enough of the enzyme lactase, which breaks down lactose, the primary sugar found in milk. Avoiding milk products or supplementing the diet with lactase enzyme is the best way for a person with lactose intolerance to overcome the problem. Next, for question 2. Yes, marine animals in the shellfish category include crustaceans and mollusks, such as shrimp, crab, lobster, squid, oysters, scallops, and others. Thank you.